Robert, thank you very much. And just in time to take you out to Ashburn, Virginia, where Coach Jay Gruden is at the podium.
Trent Williams' knee, full participation was Griffin, Porter, Perry Riley, Kerrigan, Murphy, and Robinson. All were full.
So I got to ask you, that's the first time Robert's been full. Did he get another clearance from the doctors, or just what's the obligatory question about the quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's the same thing for him. You know, he's basically he'll get cleared when they see him participate in all the drills and moving forward and able to make all the movements. And last week was more of introducing them. This week's more about getting him more reps with the ones a little bit more, and then seeing how he handles it. And then he'll go to treatment right now, and tomorrow morning we'll see how he's feeling, and doctors will continue to monitor him through each drill, through each movement, and see how he's doing, and then I'll have to decide whether or not he's ready from a mental quarterback standpoint.
Jay, what do you think is going to be best for you guys? You said the decision is going to come down to you. How are you looking at it? What do you think is going to be best for the team?
What do I think? Well, you know, we'll see. You know, it's all going to depend on how he does in practice today or tomorrow and Friday and moving forward, how I feel like he's coming back. You know, really, from a physical standpoint, he looks good. Now it's a matter of mental and getting back into the football part of it. And if he looks good in that regard, then there's a chance he could play. And if not, if he needs another week, he'll take another week.
What's one thing he could do that would say to you, okay, he's ready? He needs to play.
It's the whole process of playing quarterback. You know, it's getting to the line of scrimmage, calling the plays, calling the runs the right way, dropping back, going through his progressions the right way. You know, he's taken 5 weeks off from having to do that in any live situation. Now he's got to go through it in practice, and let's see where he is from a mental standpoint. If he remembers, if he's retained the information, if I feel like he has, then there's a chance. You know, if I feel like he needs another week just to get his feet wet, might be the way to go too.
With all that going on, how do you split up the reps?
So you know, just split them up.
Yeah. So like both Colt and Robert work with the first team this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that change anything for the offense, for the other 10 guys in the huddle? Does that affect them at all? I
hope not. You know, those guys are going to block and do what they got to do and run routes the way they run routes, no matter if I was playing quarterback. They wouldn't run them as deep, but they'll play hard. That's the big thing. I think the guys are going to play hard. They've already showed they'll play hard for Kirk, they'll play hard for Colt, they'll play hard for Robert, so it shouldn't have any impact whatsoever.
Jay, because you have to get, obviously, one quarterback ready, do you have to just add first-team reps to a normal period because you can't split them 50-50, ideally, in a week at that position? How do you kind of structure that?
Yeah, we added a couple, not too many, just because the linemen got to be in there. You know, you got to take care of everybody else. Today was a unique day. We didn't get as many reps because we just played on Monday night. Such a quick turnaround, so today was more of a just we were in shorts and no shoulder pads, glorified walkthrough, so to speak, so it wasn't very the tempo wasn't great up front, but the receivers were running full speed. But you know, we'll have to get more reps tomorrow. We'll have to split them up and make do with what we have.
Jay, last week you had said by Thursday you wanted to have that decision so you could know, so the player who's going to be the quarterback can know, so the rest of the team can know. Do you still see a need to have the decision by that time?
Yeah, I'd like to have one soon, but this one's a little unique circumstance because I'm not going to know for sure until I see Robert actually go through the process with our guys. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure I really evaluate where he is. And, you know, like I said, I think from a physical standpoint, you know, he might have been able to play last week. I don't know. But we're really trying to make sure, A, that he goes through these drills on these turf fields and there's no injury afterwards, make sure it's stable, which we feel good about that, and then B, just make sure from a quarterback standpoint that he feels good about his reads, his progressions, his pickups, responsibilities, his run responsibilities. You know, it's a lot of information. You know, you take 5 or 6 weeks off and you hope that he's in the meetings paying attention. We just want to make sure that he's retained everything, and so far it looks pretty good.
Jay, I want to ask you about the two guys who made their first starts Monday. Now you looked at the film and everything. Murphy and Tom Compton, how'd they do?
Murphy did good. You know, he did really good against the run. You know, we were a little concerned about that, but he really stood up against the run and made his presence felt. Pass rush wise, you know, he wasn't as effective. He's going against pretty darn good left tackle over there at Dallas, but he still was a nuisance. But we expect more from him in the pass rush standpoint, but we were impressed with him in the run. And for his first game on Monday Night Football, we thought he held his own and did a good job. Compton, same thing. You know, there were some plays I know he wished he had back. He went the wrong way on a run and got beat one other time, but for the most part, for his first full game at right tackle, I thought he played pretty darn good. But like everybody else, we expect more from him, but I was impressed with both of them.
Jay, how are you using Monday night, such a big win in Dallas, into prepping for the Vikings? How are you keeping that energy and that confidence and sort of making sure that the guys don't play down because it's just the Vikings, so to speak?
That's not an issue, I hope. We're 3-5, they're 3-5, and there's not just an NFL team that we have to even think about. You know, it was a great win for us, no question about it, but the true quality of a good team is how you respond after wins and losses, and we're hoping that we can respond and continue to build off our success the last 2 weeks. We don't have time to take any steps back. We have to continue moving forward, and I think our players understand the situation that we're in. You know, as good as you feel after a big win like that, you still look at the division race, we're still in last, so we still have a long way to go.
How did you assess the performance of your inside linebackers? Perry and Keenan seemed like they made some big impact plays at certain points in the game.
They did. You know, Keenan's still steady. You know, he's steady. He had a couple, you know, we let DeMarco out there a couple times, but for the most part, they played steady and consistent, you know, and actually Perry was the main reason the last drive of the game was stalled. You know, they had 2nd down and 2. He broke up 2 passes back to back, got them to 4th and 2, and made Tony come off his first progression and then scramble, and then that's when Breland got the knockdown. So Perry was very, very instrumental in that victory also. So those guys are athletic, as we all know, and they're just, the more reps they get and the more they play, the better they're going to get.
Okay. To follow up on that, with Keenan Robinson, are you starting to realize, like, it's been half a season for him now? Does he look like he's starting to diagnose things, just feel more fluid within what you guys want?
Yeah, he sure looks that way to me. You know, I think you feel him when you're on the field.
Weekly Wednesday news conference is the one in which we really find out what's going on with the Washington Redskins, and what we have learned is that Robert Griffin III, according to the coach, is ready. He's been cleared by the doctors for full participation, and Coach Gruden says he'll take a look. He's most anxious to see if Griffin is ready, what he termed mentally. And as a result, he's splitting reps with first team with Colt McCoy, the 3rd stringer who looked so good in the Skins' upset win over Dallas on Monday night. Or Sunday at Minnesota, the Redskins game. Live coverage for you here on News Channel 8, 26 minutes after the hour. We'll step away for just a bit.